I've had over 100 employees over the last 10 years. So in today's video, I want to tell you 5 lessons I've learned from 100 employees. My name is Mark Fisher. I'm a co-founder of Business for Unicorns, and if you're interested in finding out how we help training gym owners create more income, more impact, and more freedom, you want to head on over to businessforunicorns.com to learn more. First lesson. There's no universally effective leadership style because the challenge is each situation is different, each individual is different, and different situations, different sets of people are going to benefit from different styles. Humans tend to lean into whatever their personal strengths are as a leader, which may or may not be the most effective style of leadership for that particular moment and that particular context. Now, one quick bonus tip I'll give you here is one way to have some success working around this is in organizations, we give each other what we lack. So many of you that are familiar with my work know that I'm a big fan of training gym owners getting a number 2 for their fitness business, the role I often call the sous chef. And it might behoove you to consider when hiring a sous chef to look for someone with a complementary set of leadership skills so that together you can give your team, the organization, the types of leadership that they might need based on the individual and based on the various situations you find yourself in. Number 2, you must get comfortable with being the boss. Oh my goodness. I really struggle with this. It's funny because I can remember we had a team at MFF for a long time who would call me boss. Part of my journey over the past 10 years is getting comfortable with being the boss and making that term is okay. It means you're not going to be liked all the time. You can be respected most of the time, I think, but you're definitely not going to be liked all the time because your role often is to hold people accountable to doing the things that need to happen, and not every single person on your team is going to be excited about doing everything the business needs to be done every single day. As the boss, you have to do what's in the best interest of the organism over the best interest of the individual. And I think when you do that consistently over time, you actually get better outcomes than when in good-natured attempt to do what individual needs, you inadvertently make unfair asks of other people in the business. Lesson number 3, learn to differentiate whose luggage is whose, which is to say that sometimes an individual will have beef with you. Sometimes it's valid and other times less so. Now, I would say that more commonly, my observation is more leaders than not tend to assume the luggage is their team, right? The issue is, oh, it's my team. They're being jerks. They don't understand. I think as the leader, you should lean towards getting curious and assuming that maybe it's actually your luggage after all, and you're not being a good enough leader, and that's why we're running into issues. Sometimes you have to be able to say, oh, this actually is mostly your luggage. And the final point I'll make about this is invariably, it's both of your luggage. There's rarely a conflict in business or in life that both partners don't have some responsibility in. But when you're figuring out what the action steps are and how to take action based on any tensions that arise, you do have to learn to differentiate when you might say that, okay, I understand this person is upset and they're really displeased with this move, but ultimately, what I'm doing, I know is reasonable, I know is fair. And you also have to be willing to say, okay, this person is very upset. And upon thinking about this, I'm pained to say, I think I kind of messed this up. I think they have a point and this is on me. So I now need to go apologize, make amends, and fix this. Lesson number 4, I alluded to this before, but the clearer you are with expectations from day one, the better you will be. Because the clearer you are with onboarding people and making sure every responsibility of the job, every communication responsibility, the clearer you are with that, and importantly, the more consistent you are with holding people accountable and managing on a daily and weekly basis, the easier things will be. It's not that you won't have issues. It's not that you won't ever have to hold people accountable, but because you've set those expectations from up front, it's a lot less emotionally fraught for you because you know there's less room for blaming the challenge that you just didn't communicate properly what you needed. My 5th takeaway from 100 employees is great leaders don't make followers. Great leaders make other leaders. You need to not only invest in your team as followers, quote unquote, or as frontline workers, so to speak, but you also need to invest in their leadership skills. And that means everything from having them do continuing education about leadership to reading books on it, making sure that you're working with them on a weekly basis and using pig-headed stubborn discipline. Remember, as the CEO of your training gym, you have to be the CRO, Chief Reminding Officer. So if you're developing someone into the sous chef position, it's not a matter of outsourcing some of the tasks, you're also outsourcing some of the leadership, and that is, on the one hand, number 1, a lot trickier and a lot more difficult, but number 2, a lot more emotionally gratifying and satisfying, and ultimately that is the path whereby which you can create some actual freedom in your training gym. All right, friends, so that is my rundown. I'll give you one final thought here, which has been something that I've been reflecting on lately. So I think, frankly, when I was younger, I had some unhelpful perfectionistic tendencies around leadership because my goal was to be literally perfect. And I realized I'm not going to be a perfect leader all the time. I'm going to mess stuff up. So this is the very best thing I think you can work on. And my suggestion to you is, if you're like me, if this has ever felt fraught and you want to be a good leader so bad, I think it's really beautiful. I want to give you a big hug and say, you're going to get there. The fact that you care so much is really beautiful. So wear it with some ease, do it with some joy, some compassion for yourself, and do it as a reflection of your care and love for the people you get to work with and the people your team gets to serve. If you do all that, I think you're going to be on a good path. All right, friends, that's today's video. As always, it would mean so much to me if you subscribe, like, and share. And the reason is because I want as many training gym owners as possible to find this channel, because I know this information can help more training gym owners have more success with their gyms, which not only leads to a better life for them, but it leads to a better society that is transformed through the awesome powers of fitness. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time for more actionable tips, psychological frameworks, and philosophy.